This episode of Rice and Beans is brought to you by Havana Cigar Lounge in Hesperia, California. Welcome once again to the Rice and Beans podcast. As always, I'm with you. This is Nate, the Beans.
And this is Jimmy, the Rice.
And welcome to another very special episode today. One that I think is going to hit every enthusiast, because if you're into cars, you're going to come across this at some point where you need to find somebody to work on your car. And especially if you have a nice sports car, high-end car, you love your car, you really want to pick the right person and shop to work on it. But sometimes those things go south.
Absolutely.
So we have a special guest with us today to talk about his experience and maybe what we can take from his experience and apply it to ourselves. And if we're looking for a shop in the future, I'd like you guys to welcome with us Scott from the Rennstreet Podcast. How's it going, Scott?
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Jimmy. It's great to be here. I really appreciate you guys having me here.
So happy to have you. It's an honor.
I don't know about that, but it is an honor on my part. So thank you.
Of course. For those of you who don't know, Scott Kelly is actually the vice president of Porsche Club of America LA chapter.
That's correct.
And he's also the founder of Rennstreet Podcast. So it's an honor to have him finally in the studio. Thank you so much.
We make so much fun of Porsche guys, and he still came on. You're a brave guy, Scott.
I know.
Glad to have you here.
Well, you were a Corvette guy, so there has to be that, right? No, but I really appreciate it. And when it comes down to it, we are all car guys.
Yeah.
And we have different brands of choice, different cars that we admire, maybe because of the characteristics. Maybe it's just what you grew up with as a kid. Who knows? Something grabbed you in some way.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, we're all car guys. I love everything from weird stuff that was like turn of the century. I remember doing a book report on Henry Ford when I was a kid, so I learned all about the Model T and all the and to the modern supercars and everything in between. Weird stuff like Messerschmitts are cool. And
yeah, no, absolutely. That's cool.
Yeah. So Scott, I met you 2 years ago when I first started Sociology of Cars.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire 2 years, you've never had a car.
I know. It's terrible.
You always said, Jimmy, let's go on a drive sometime. Oh, I hope to see you at the track. But little did I know that your car was actually in the shop even before that. It's been 3 years.
He didn't believe you. You thought you just didn't have a car.
That's hilarious.
Right?
The pictures were all grabbed off of Google images.
He just has Porsche t-shirts, that's all.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
So every time when Scott shows up, it's like you're in your daily, right?
Yeah.
And then something happened. It's normal to hear your enthusiast friends say, oh, my car is in the shop.
Right.
Everybody say that, right? But nobody expects
our
3
mutual
years.
friend Steve just got Olin's put on his 991. It's like, his cars have been being shopped a little bit. Oh, I got a oil pump or water pump or something.
Right. And then you published an episode where you were talking to our dear friend Michael about this horror story that I had no idea about. And I was like, oh my God, what have you been enduring? And that's why you're on the show, because I wanted to show people just how badly things can take a turn unexpectedly. And Scott, to be honest, I always tell people that you are the guy that people would go to for a recommendation as to which mechanical shop to go to.
Yeah.
But yet it happens to the best of us because you just can't see it coming sometimes.
Absolutely.
And we want to share that experience. So be as detailed as you want.
Okay.
And you can even call out names if you want. And we highly encourage you to cuss out.
Okay. Just don't get a
I've come with receipts, bro. I've come with receipts.
So exactly just what happened.
Okay, so first let me give a little background. So
I would say what car and what did you need done?
Absolutely.
To start off.
So the thing that started all of this is I have a 996 turbo. It's a GT2 lookalike. Has GT2 front bumper, GT2 rear wing. It's modified, highly modified. I was about 600 horsepower, and this thing was, it was track ready.
Yeah.
So suspension all done, GT3 seats and GT2 RS intercoolers. Everything was done except for the internals. And it's Barrett's white, which is kind of a cool color, which is neat because 996s often weren't white. It was a rare color for 996s, which is weird because it's popular among every other generation.
That's true. I don't think I've seen a white one.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so I actually blew the engine on track. I blew the head gasket, and every time we got combustion in that cylinder, it now sent 3,000 degree flame through the hole so it melted the head, melted the cylinder, and I knew right away something had happened. I got detonation. Looking back, what happened was detonation, and that caused to blow the hole in the head gasket.
Yeah.
So then came the search. Who's going to build the engine? And this is the irony that really kind of strikes, okay? Mm-hmm. Before the show, we briefly mentioned, you want to find someone really good, and you don't want money to dictate to who you go to.
Right.
And my girlfriend, her dad has one of the most renowned shops in the country. And he's up in Northern California, and shout out High Tech Automotive if you're in the Bay Area. He was willing to do the engine for me for free, minus I would pay for the parts, which is really amazing because Porsche engines are really expensive to build, unfortunately.
He must like you.
Quick side note, but this is actually kind of funny. I felt like first time I met him, this is what made him accept me like, you're good enough for my daughter. I mean, maybe no one's good enough for my daughter, but maybe you're close.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we go to dinner, and he pulls a picture up on his phone and he says, "You know what this is?" And I look at it, I study it, and I go, "Is that a crankshaft to a 4-cam Carrera engine?" Which is like a very, very rare engine for a 356. And he looks at me with this sign of approval, like, "All right. You're in. You're
Pass
okay.
The test.
Pass the test. You're okay." Yeah. But anyway, so I could have used his shop, but he was honest. He's like, "Look, I'm going to be doing this in spare time. It's going to take a while. I probably can't get to it for a year."
Yeah.
And this is back in 2023, and a big Porsche show was coming up. It's called Rennstreet Reunion for the non-Porsche people out here. I know this has a wide reach, not just Porsches.
Yeah.
Rennstreet, we talk about pretty much just Porsche. But so Rennstreet Reunion is like the Olympics for Porsche people. And I met this gentleman, or should I say gentleman? No, he's actually a really nice guy, and it's really terrible that this soured and went this direction. But my engine builder, his name is Glenn Yee, and his companies, because he has several, is called the Engine Room, and also GT Series 1, and also Glenn Yee Motorsports. And each business has a different focus, and that's why he has 3 different businesses.
Wow. It sounds legit.
Yeah, totally. Well, the guy has the pedigree. He really does. I think he's starting to lose it, and I think that's affecting his work. And I'll get into that a little bit. But the background of how I met him was we have a mutual friend who passed away, unfortunately. And I met Glenn at our mutual friend's funeral. So we met, we got to talking and everything, and he told me what he did, and I was like, wow, cool. I'm actually looking for an engine builder. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was just really serendipitous, and that our friend through posthumously was bringing us together. And I felt like it really was kind of a beautiful thing. And I did a little research on him, and he, was legit and he really had the pedigree. He teaches for Porsche. He won Daytona in 2003 on a team. Like, he has the pedigree. So there wasn't a lot of red flags, but as we talk later, we can kind of talk about some red flags that do kind of appear when choosing a builder or someone to work on your car, whether it's something mild like putting on an exhaust all the way to actual engine building. So that's how we met. And he was like, yeah, I could get it done quickly. I told him when my goal was to have it done for Rennstreet Reunion, which was in September. So that gave him like maybe 6 months to do this. Okay. And he said, yeah, I can do an engine build in 6 months.
Now this is because you said you torched the head. So was this a complete block and head, like complete new engine?
So no, actually, So it was going to be re-welded, all the parts re-welded,
all right,
and then remachined. Which these are all aluminum.
Yeah.
So with aluminum, you can do that.
Yeah.
And actually, the welded areas are probably stronger than the native areas.
Yeah.
So, and then the machining is done, and there's a place that here's where things started to go awry.
Okay.
So the machining has done exterior, from someone else, because these engines it's a Mesker engine. It has case halves, not a block,
right?
So like a traditional block.
Yeah.
So it's more like a clamshell, and everything is inside, and then you put together a clamshell kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's unfortunately in the Porsche world, there's only a few machine shops left. Everyone's aging out. They're not really teaching the skills to a younger demographic. So it's really, they're getting backed up, the few that are left.
Yeah.
And he said, Scott, it's about a 6 or 7 month wait. I know these people really well, done a ton of work with them. I know them outside of the Porsche industry. They're really good friends. I'll be able to get you jumped ahead. The machining will take 3 months. And then after that, we can really attack the engine build process.
Yeah.
Some friendship. That friendship ended up turning into 9 month wait. And unfortunately, you can't really do anything until you have the heads and the cases machined and back in your
You're held hostage, because you don't have any parts to go off with.
Absolutely. Gun to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to interject, but this is my propaganda. You ready?
Yeah, please.
Miata is always the answer.
It's always the answer. And I mean, I even thought about, had I known it was going to take 3 years, I would have bought a car that would have been cheap, and essentially I could sell it for essentially what I bought it for, just for the interim.
Enjoy it and just flip it later.
Yeah.
You have something in the meanwhile.
Yeah. To keep me on the road.
Yeah.
It's funny because, as Jimmy talked about, we've never even driven together, like me behind the wheel type thing. And, we've known each other now for a solid 2 years. And, we know a lot of the same people, as you and I probably know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
And they all know, oh yeah, Scott's a driver. Like he drives his car,
I can just imagine like your itch, man, to just drive your own car again and to experience it. And when you see people out there having fun, enjoying their cars, and in SoCal, we have like this great weather all the time. I would be miserable. So I can just imagine, man, how you've been feeling over the last few years.
It's been a test in eternal fortitude,
Edging is good in general, but if you edge it for too long, it's bad for the prostate.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious.
Now we know what Jimmy's up to sometimes.
Yeah. And that's the perfect analogy. It really is edging, because I would go out on drives once in a while with Michael Kriskovich, who is my co-host on Rennstreet Podcast, has done some stuff with you, Jimmy. Yeah. So, and you, Nate. That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, that was a great podcast with the three of you guys. I think you've done 2 of them together.
Yeah, no, Mike's always, I love his sense of humor, man. And we're always joking around. So it's always good to have him here with us too.
Yeah, he's such a good dude. But so, he's gracious enough. Like he really understands my situation. And he's like, I feel like it hits him as hard almost as it hits me. Sometimes harder, because like I'm now in it and just been like wallowing in it,
Yeah.
Where like he gets the bits and flashes of it, and it's like, oh, that's a gut punch, Yeah. I'm numb to the gut punches now, but.
So you were saying that the wait turned into a 9-month wait.
Yeah.
And let's pick up from there.
Okay. So anyways, finally we get it back, and now the engine finally gets to go back together. And I'm thinking this is going to be a few month process, at most 4 months maybe to put together the engine. And it turned out to nearly, there's one excuse after another. Yeah. Oh, in the process, because I really want to steer people clear of Glen Yee, but this was something that kind of really sucked, and maybe we'll talk about it more later, but he had messed up a friend's transmission as well. I had already given him my engine. This was the problem. Like, had I gotten this red flag beforehand, I probably never would have chosen him.
Yeah.
But he messed up my friend's transmission, he got the transmission to build in the interim while my car was still waiting for the machining process to be done.
Oh no.
But yeah.
So what can you do?
Yeah, totally. So anyways, but I can talk more about that because that's actually really interesting too, which kind of leads me to where I think this Glenn is headed, unfortunately. But so we finally, it's slowly, but it's one thing after another. Finally getting the parts. You make, it was kind of one step forward, two steps back. He's taking pictures. He's sending me pictures, which was all at my request. He'd never done that before. And I was like, look, I have a podcast. I want to be able to document this and really enjoy it. The builds, kind of like the old forum. All the forum builds were really fun to watch.
They were,
and especially when they came to fruition and, you saw people, whether they did it themselves or farm things out, it was the love of their life and just a real passion.
Absolutely.
And you were happy for them. It's a person 3,000 miles away online that you have no idea, and you're really happy for them, genuinely.
Yeah.
But so anyways, things, like I said, one step forward, two steps back. After 3 years, finally, the engine is done. And I'm excited. And shout out to House Automotive. So let me be very clear about this because I don't want people to mix the two up. I have two shops doing the engine. One, House Automotive, who has been a godsend to us and also sponsors our program. But they took the engine out, prepped it. Then Glenn got the engine. He did all the disassembling and everything. And And then once he was done with everything, he brought the engine back to House Automotive and they put it back in the car, buttoned things up.
So he was just going to be the engine builder.
Correct.
That would give the engine back to you.
That's
so
right.
now we have a machine process that alone took 9 months.
Yeah.
And then to assemble it, it took him 2 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, these are complex engines. There's a lot, and I am twin turbo, so there's extra, there's extra stuff. I mean, there and because it's rear engine, all the radiators, it is a complex engine.
Now, did he share with you what the holdup was? Because basically you need, I'm guessing you went pistons, rods.
Yes.
Right. You got all your bearings.
Yep.
If you rebuilt the heads, you have your valves and springs.
Correct.
And your camshafts. So like what was the holdup there with that?
He'd be building one thing and then say, oh, we need to order some more parts. Oh, okay. Now we need to order parts here.
Yeah.
That's going to take 2 weeks. This is,
Yeah.
And
so
a lot of
nickel and diming pretty much the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're in the operating room on the table, and then now the doctor wants to charge more.
But it wasn't even about the cost. It was about like the doctor's in the operating table and he looks down and he's like, oh, I don't have the forceps. Can someone run to the back room over there and get me some forceps?
Yeah.
In the meantime, the patient is on the operating table opened up with, scalpel's already been cut
Or
open.
let me go do this procedure and I'll come back to your operation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When it's like in that moment, it's like, what are you going to do? Like stand up and leave? You can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to like smile and say, oh yeah, take your time. Like we're still cool.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, and that because I've experienced this and know people that have experienced similar situations. Then you're scared to maybe act too upset or unhappy because they're still holding your stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to piss this person off because then I'll never get my stuff, or they'll slap it together without caring just to give it back to me. So you're kind of like walking this on eggshells. With this person. I'm sure you felt the same way.
You're absolutely right. I had to practice restraint. I felt, my demeanor is I'm a pretty friendly guy. I'm talkative. I'm very relatively upbeat. When I get upset, it's kind of not the extremes, but when I'm upset, people will know it.
It takes a lot.
It does take a lot.
Get there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But when I get there, I let them know it. And, to what you were saying, it's this delicate line. Let them know you're upset. Yeah. Some people need that kick in the ass to get moving.
Yeah.
So I was doing that without trying to straddle the line without getting to where, you know what, fuck you, here's your engine back, and I'm not going to do it. And now I've got a million pieces, and now who.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so let me go back to answering your question though, Jimmy. Finally, it's done, and I'm sick as a dog. I have the flu for 2 weeks. Not COVID, but it was a bad flu. And it was my birthday, and I get the call from House Automotive. Scott, your car's done. All, everything, all new hoses, everything is new and good for the most part. Yeah. And Scott, your car's done. You can come get it. Hell or high water. It's my birthday. I'm getting it literally on my birthday.
Wow.
So my girlfriend drives me out there to House Automotive. We pick up the car, we talk, shake hands and laugh, and this is hell, but we got through it. And their faces were just as happy as mine, I'm sure, to see the car go and know that it was, leaving. And not just because it was leaving, freeing up space, but, they're friends of mine and they've been through it with me. So I drive it for about a mile, and then a coolant hose pops off. And it's not the hose, like a lot of people know with the Mezger engines, you have to pin the coolant lines. Yeah. This isn't one of those things. All the lines were pinned. Glenn did all that. Okay. But what happens is there's an actual hose that goes from the water pump to, into the cooling system. Mm-hmm. And that pops off. And Kelsey, my girlfriend, actually was videoing me as she's driving behind me. And all of a sudden just boom, giant puff of white smoke as all the coolant gets puked over the headers.
Oh my God. That's the worst.
Yeah. So luckily I see it right away in my rear view mirrors, but Kelsey got it on video, and I'll show you guys later and you can share it if you like. But, so I pull over right away, call House and say, hey guys, just so you know, something happened. I opened up the engine lid. There's coolant everywhere. So they jump in the car, come over, see if it's something that, they can fix right then and there or not. So they come over and they see what it is. Right away, they diagnose it. And it's just this coolant hose that's held in with a circlip. So it just presses in, and then the clip expands and goes into a groove, and it wouldn't seat. So they put it on a tow truck, get it back, and they say, Scott, we can't get it to seat. So we're going to order a new hose. Maybe the circlip is worn and it just won't seat anymore for whatever reason. It looked like that was probably the original coolant hose, which is 25 years old. So, because my car is 2001. So they go ahead and order a new one. They put it in. It also won't seat. So they're like, okay, there's a bigger issue. Yeah, we need to order the housing that it goes into. So they get the new housing. Before they put it in the car, they do a test fit, make sure that the new hose clips into the new housing. Yeah. It's great. Locks in like Lego. So they take off the old housing to put the new one on. And this is where really things start to unfold. It reveals there's a whole bunch of ceramic polishing media beads where the water pump is, in the water pump housing. Wow. So most likely they were churning around and they messed up they probably gouged or messed up the seating surface, which made it so the hose wouldn't seat properly. And you won't know that because by hand, it's strong. Yeah. It's only once it's under pressure, heated coolant and under pressure, where it'll blow off.
Yeah. So just in case anyone's wondering, they use media blasting to kind of clean up the parts. It leaves a nice finish, gets any corrosion and whatnot off the surface. But the thing about media blasting is you need to really thoroughly clean out the block after you've done that. So I'm guessing right away you can tell that block wasn't cleaned out, and those beads love to eat bearings and anything else that they're going through. So, oh my goodness.
Absolutely. So this was the coolant system. So, but you're exactly right. The reason they use ceramic media to clean metals because it's so abrasive that it literally will remove metal. Yeah. So, okay. So we're in a big text thread, the three of us, the builder, Glenn, House, and myself, and they posts some pictures. Glenn kind of freaks out. Oh my God, I'm going to send over a new water pump and housing. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
So he does that. Takes about 2 weeks. He has to order a new one. And, because my car, again, the famed pinned lines, he has to make the modifications for my car, then sends it back to House. House now does. In the meantime, this is more labor right? I mean, you can't expect House to do this for free, right?
Yeah, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
That failed. So
yeah,
it's a tough spot for them to be in too, especially when they have a good relationship with you, because they don't want to just be charging you, but it's still a business, and
100%.
And now they're fixing someone else's mistake, which is one thing shops hate, is fixing another shop's mistake.
Yeah,
that
totally.
happens a lot though.
It does. And it's hard. I mean, we'll get into that later, but people don't want to mess with other people's science projects.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Right. So he orders more part, and then what happened?
So now we go ahead and get this put in, and they decided, you know what? We're still in the break-in process.
Yeah.
So, I've got full forged Carrillo rods, JE pistons. Like, I wasn't skimping. We
good stuff.
Yeah, we busted. We boarded out to a 3.8 liter, so it's no longer 3.6.
Yeah.
Ductile cast iron sleeves, which is what they use for like funny cars and top fuel stuff that are high boost.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a serious build, including extra oil journals drilled into the crankshaft. This is a real deal build. Big boy builds.
Yeah.
Like the bottom end's supposed to be good for about 1,200 horsepower. I'm limited by my turbos to about 7, which for my type of driving, I don't want a big horsepower build.
More, especially on that car, that's more than enough.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like my car at 600 was really perfect for the type of driving I do.
Yeah.
They decided to go back and do an oil change. It's got 45 minutes idle time. It's got about 11 miles on it. Just for funsies, let's do an oil change. And that's where shit really hit the fan. They do the oil change, and right away a whole bunch of ceramic polishing media is in the oil.
The gift that keeps on giving, huh? It's like a piñata in there, man. Oh my God.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. So they freak out. They're like, we've got a real problem. Yeah. They get on the our group text, and show us pictures, and it's all over in the oil. It's all over where the oil filter is in the housing. It's where they drain the oil has the kind of the sponge and the thing, the pan that they drain into. It's all over there, and some of the pieces are probably about the size of a marble. Other pieces are maybe small, like a pea, maybe a little bit smaller. Which means these media blasting has been breaking up. Exactly what you were saying, Nate. It's kind of like sand. So this, as it breaks up, it can get into bearings and cause premature wear or damage. Yeah. And first thing they did, they posted all these pictures and said, hey, we've got a problem. What do you want us to do? This was kind of the first time that really caused me to question Glenn's wisdom, because he said, well, drain it all, make sure it's all drained out, flush it, and then throw some more oil in there, and then run it, maybe do another flushing. Yeah. And I right away said, no. This thing needs to come apart and be fully disassembled. Yeah. For the reasons that I just said, where it breaks up and could cause, premature wear or damage. And then House came back and said, I just talked to every tech that works here. They all said that engine needs to come completely apart, be fully disassembled, cleaned out, and re-inspected, and then replace or repair any damaged parts, and then it could go back together. Yeah. Wow. And then he finally admitted it in the way, like, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can change that might be a quick Band-Aid, but the thing is, when you've had media go through the engine, the oil pump, and the bearings, you have damage that's only going to get worse. So it would have been easy to say, oh, okay, well, the pressure's okay and there's no more media in the oil. Let's just drive it. And then you're going to have all these other issues come up. You're going to start getting lower oil pressure. And then you're going to have real catastrophic failure, where if you catch it now, maybe you can save more components, change out the bearings or whatnot. So if I would have seen that, I immediately would have known that this engine's coming out.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
To say the least, he might very well kill you if the engine blows up in the middle of the track day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something bad can happen.
Well, that's exactly my point of contention when I talked to him. I said, Glenn, this car isn't a daily driver. I don't take this to go shopping. I have an FJ Cruiser for that.
Yeah.
This car is pure smile miles. I'm on the Canyon, and while I feel like I'm relatively safe, we're on a razor's edge and things can happen real fast.
Oh yeah.
And these cars, especially Porsche's 911s, are known being rear engined. Weight transfer makes a big difference. If I'm in the canyons out on ACH, and there's not a lot of room for recovery if something goes wrong.
Right.
And I don't drive 10/10s, but
yeah.
we're spirited, and it's one of those things where the engine blows mid corner, you're off a 500-foot cliff.
Oh yeah.
Right.
If you're on track, you're in a wall.
Mm-hmm.
He literally put my life in danger. To me, that's reckless endangerment.
Right. And then he was okay with that.
Apparently.
Right. That's the daunting thought.
Not once have I got an apology from him.
Yeah. And I'll just say this too, because anytime you start getting into, I've built cars before. I had a 1,000 horsepower C5 before and all that. So I know what's involved. And you understand as an enthusiast that even when everything's done right, there's always the possibility of something failing or something going wrong. But there's a difference between, let's say, a component failing or something and just neglect from the builder.
That's
Especially something like that. I mean, that to clean out the engine's like step one before you even start putting things together.
yeah.
And so for that to be missed to that degree, man, that's scary.
Yeah, thank you. And you're exactly right. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had several cars. I had a 72 Targa that I've owned twice, actually. Kind of funny, quick little side shoot. I owned it from 98 to 2011, and I built that car. And I was one of the first people, not the first, I'm not trying to take credit, but one of the first people to put a 3.6 in a long hood early car.
Oh, nice.
And so I know there's always going to be some teething problems, and you work them out, and I expected that. This, to your point, is not that.
Yeah.
These weren't teething problems. These are, like you said, neglect.
That's beyond just a mistake. That's just
Right.
it's hard to excuse that.
Yeah,
or to come up with a reason for that.
Right. Oh, this isn't. Oh, the timing was off. We need it. It's running a little rich or something like that. We need it. Something's going on where the ignition isn't really meshing with the the DME or something. Yeah, this was neglect, and I'm kind of speechless on how So, I've actually talked to several big name builders, and I won't say them because one, they've asked me not to. But what you were saying earlier, Nate, this was kind of one of those things where people are afraid to touch my engine now because they don't want to have to unfuck his fuckery.
Yeah.
And I don't cuss a lot, so that really, I mean, I won't hold back here. But when I started finding out, because he's breached my trust.
Yeah.
Took 3 years, supposed to take 6 months. Cost me. I was willing to spend the money. This engine build was not cheap.
Yeah.
And I was willing to spend the money for expediency with someone that is very experienced and has the pedigree. I was willing to do that. And so, later what we'll talk about, the red flags and stuff, those red flags weren't necessarily there for me, which kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But other builds, there kind of are red flags, but this one, they didn't really show up, and which is unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, so I started saying to other builders, hey, what is it going to cost to do this? Because one, I need to find out what, if I go to court, what is it going to take to do this? What am I asking for? What are my compensation that I need now? Because it's beyond just, oh, here's your money back and, reckless endangerment, the time, I'm very visual in the community because I am the vice president of PCA. So I'm always doing events and I'm always out there, and it hurts me that I don't have my stuff, So I was like, oh, I need my car.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've gotten estimates because of not just doing an engine build, now they're redoing everything that he did.
Yeah.
And I've had build estimates up to about $100,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is insane.
You're going to just buy another car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. And I've actually put a proposal in there. In fact, a very, very well-known shop said, hey, I couldn't let this out of my shop. I couldn't even just rebuild it and give it back to my customer, even if they were willing to wait the long time that it would do.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't promise that everything's going to be okay. So I would basically buy the car from them at a elevated market price, elevated above market price, if that happened at their shop.
Wow.
Okay, so now what happens?
So actually, I told Glenn he breached my trust. So what I said was he messed up my friend's transmission. This was kind of the red flags that happened, but I was kind of neck deep in already, and maybe I should have just pulled it and said, even though the engine, give it to me in 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
I need to go elsewhere, because he built a G50 transmission. So that's basically 87 through 89 Carrera.
Yeah.
And he built a transmission for a friend of mine, and he had another shop. So another mutual friend, I just gets convoluted, but a friend of mine owns this tiny shop in Marina Del Rey, and he pulled the transmission, gave it to Glenn to build. And then when he got it back, first of all, this was supposed to take 6 weeks, and it ended up taking about 9 or 10 months. So time means nothing to him, apparently.
Wow.
And he gave it back, and it was missing a couple of bolts.
Oh, what?
It was missing a couple of bolts. So we're like, okay, there's something wrong here. Why is it missing bolts?
It didn't have any ceramic media in it too, did it? Jesus.
No, but there were other things missing too. So it's missing bolts. So he takes it apart and looks in, and he gave Glenn all new dog teeth or gears, and then all new synchros. And when he took it apart, the dog teeth had been replaced, but they had been replaced with more used dog teeth, not the brand new ones that he had given him.
What the fuck?
So now the question is, where did the new parts go? Wow. Okay.
That's the $100,000 question.
Jeez.
So, but all the synchros were new, so the transmission would have felt great.
Yeah.
But maybe there's premature wear now. Instead of lasting another 100, 200,000 miles, maybe it lasts 40, 60, Now
I'm curious. So this Glenn guy he's hands-on doing this stuff himself? Or he has his technicians?
Nope, he's a one-man operation. So he can't even blame it on someone else.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that a lot though, where somebody spreads themselves too thin, doing different jobs at the same time. It's easy to lose track of where you're at and what you're doing. And if you have someone who thinks of themselves as an engineer and, like you said, wants to reinvent the wheel, you have all these ideas all the time. And if you're not really organized in how you do your work, it's really easy to make a mistake. And, we're not messing with Honda Civics here. We're messing with, really high dollar components that need to be done just right, assembled just right, and all of that. So
yeah,
I don't know if maybe that's what's going on with them, but
I kind of feel like he's an older guy, he's an older gentleman, and I kind of feel like, because he's a really nice guy when you talk to him, and he makes you feel really comfortable, and for good reason, because I think 20 years ago he wouldn't have had this kind of thing happen. but I think he's getting up there in age, and he's, you know, if you look at the guy, he's not your poster boy of good health. You know, I mean, hey, I'm not saying anything, you know, I'm aging, you know,
it's tough.
We all do, but
it's like when you're yelling at someone that's driving like, man, and then you pull up to him, it's like some old lady. You're like, you feel bad.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I know you probably feel like,
but
you want to go at him, but you feel bad at the same time.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's, you know, he hey, if he's taking money and taking projects on, you're saying that you're competent enough to see it to fruition and well done.
Yeah. So then we're at a point where you had to take this to court.
So I haven't yet, but it might get there. So basically what I did was I gave him a proposal of what I thought was fair, based on what it would cost to buy my car. And that cost is based on what it would cost to build my car back up. Yeah. Take into account some kind of pain and suffering for the time it's taken and all the missed events. You know, it's just like this one thing after another, as far as like, I missed Rennstreet reunion. I missed, you know, my track day. Yeah. Okay. It'll be ready for the next track day. No, but that goes on, you know, all these great events that I enjoy really being part of the community and stuff. And as much as you guys rib Porsches, the Porsche community really I love no, I know you guys do. And I know you guys have many friends in the Porsche community. So we're a willing punching bag, but like, it's all in love.
If they kick you out for not having a car, just buy a Corvette and come on over.
I've ridden a couple Z06 and they are fun.
We love Porsche guys. No. It's just certain people.
Absolutely.
And they're cheaper to work on. So there you go.
Yeah. If I hear another person say, hey, just let us swap it.
There you go.
Right. So I guess the first lesson, Scott, is that do not work with anybody who is old and out of shape.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I mean, you hate to use that as no, but so anyways, so where we are now at this point is I gave him a proposal based on what I thought the monetary equivalent and compensation would be. And, you know, I'm going to put it out there because it sounds ridiculous and crazy, but the way I broke it down, it really isn't. So I told him, hey, at this point, what you're going to do, or I want you to do, I think is fair. Go out there. I'm going to find a 2016 GT3 RS, which is kind of one of my dream cars, 991.1, in the middle to lower end of the market. It's a driver. I'm a driver. I don't want to baby it. I'm not putting, you know, it's not a museum piece. I drive. So you're going to buy that. And so I don't have to pay the taxes or all that crap. And then we're going to swap straight across. And, you know, so it's about $200,000. And when you compensate the $100,000 engine rebuild at several shops that I've had, give me quotes for it. Because like I said, no one wants to work on it, including a very well-known guy who has done secret projects for Porsche. Super well-known guy. And he said, Scott, I don't want to touch that engine. It's a big paperweight at this point.
Well, it's one of those, you broke it, you bought it situations. You know? And look, if anything, if he is an engine builder, he can at least redo the engine himself that he messed up and sell your car later.
Yeah.
To recuperate something. And the rest, the loss is, I mean, lesson learned, right? On his behalf.
100%.
So I can see definitely like where you're coming from.
Yeah. So, you know, he wasn't receptive to that. And
I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, how many people are going to say, oh, you want $200,000?
Yeah.
You know, because you were going to pay me, you know, X amount for this engine build. And now you want $200,000? You're out of your mind. But, you know, the way I came to these figures.
Well, he's getting a car too. So it's not really 200. He's inheriting his, you know,
absolutely.
mistakes.
Yeah, that's right. He's inheriting his mistakes. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, he was not receptive to that. And he said, Scott, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and rebuild it. I'll fully disassemble it, fully clean everything, inspect everything. and put it all back together. But at this point, he would need the whole car because it's no longer just the engine.
Yeah.
Anything that touched water because of the coolant issue, anything that touched oil. So the turbos have to come completely apart. There's 2 of them.
Another 3 years, perhaps.
Well, if that took him 3 years to do that, I mean, what's it going to take?
Now, and that was just an engine. So now imagine the whole car now at the shop.
Right.
So,
And in the process, you know, we know these things, cars need to be driven. Otherwise bushings go bad and things like that. So now the car's been sitting for 3 years. If it has to sit for another year and a half, 2 years, now we're getting into, you know, I have modified suspension. So, you know, the spherical ends, bushings that need to get replaced.
it'll be like 2030 and we'll see him at Newcombs. He's like, I almost have my car back. I'll be like, oh man, poor Scott. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Every event I go to, oh, how's the car? Is it almost ready? You know?
and it sucks when you know your car is just like, you know, sitting somewhere and it's not your fault and people are asking you about it and they're like, man, this guy's full of crap. He's been saying his car this and that and everything. It sucks, man.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah. And people know how passionate I am. And a lot of people, you know, drove with me. And I wish I would have got the opportunity to drive with you guys beforehand. Because, you know, I used to do Newcombs a lot. And I'm really surprised. That's why I say, even though I don't remember meeting you and you don't remember meeting me, we probably have at least crossed paths in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because I know you've been up there 20 years. I've been up there since forever too.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a real passion of mine. And people just, you know, they're enthusiastic that they're excited for me that it's done, it's coming back. And then
And I feel like the most heart-aching concept here is that this is like your baby.
Yeah.
You know, sure, you drive it hard, but like that's out of love.
Yeah.
You don't even want anything to happen to it. And then here you go fucking this old guy, like literally neglecting everything, treating like a piece of trash.
Right.
It just, it grinds my gears so much to even think about it. It hurts me to even hear the story. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Thank you. I appreciate the sympathy, the compassion, you know.
Yeah, I would go crazy.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, you know, we all have unnatural thoughts up in the brain.
That's for sure.
But we have this filter that understands these are emotions running high and we don't act on them and we vent what we do to get that energy, that negative energy out of the brain and not into actions.
That's why we say it's our therapy. You know,
it is.
Yeah, it's the way we blow off steam. So it goes beyond just, oh, I don't have my car. It's like, I don't have my outlet, my therapy, my, especially when it's like a modified car that you built the way you want it. Like you're missing, like, it feels like you're missing a piece of yourself.
100%.
You know, an expression of your personality. So I think as car guys and all of our listeners can really relate to that feeling. You know, now some might hear what you said and be like, well, that sounds reasonable. He said he'll rebuild it for you and be careful this time around. But it's like, they don't understand sometimes when somebody broke your trust, like they didn't do it right the first time. And I was willing to pay you and it took 3 years. Why? It's like stepping into a bear trap again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great analogy.
It's like, why would I do that? So you need to like, if the people haven't been in that situation, like you need to understand, why would I want that again? This isn't McDonald's. I'll make you another Big Mac.
Right.
You know, it's like, why would I go through that again for 3 years when you couldn't do it right the first time?
Yeah.
Right. We all have compassion, or at least that's what I would hope so. If you're a father and you're also a doctor and you're operating on a little child in the operating room, you have compassion for the father waiting outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very astonishing to see how many mechanics out there who are not car enthusiasts, who are not driving enthusiasts. Because if he was a car enthusiast, he wouldn't be treating you the same way.
Right, because you'd have that sympathetic compassion of, you know.
He'll be like, this car's here for 3 years. I want Scott to go drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
For a lot of people, that's just a job, and it's very sad.
And I think with him, that's kind of what it became because, you know, he's been with race teams. He's been, you know, it's kind of funny. I talked to one acquaintance, I shouldn't say friend, but someone that I know, not real well, but that they needed a team principal to run their race team. And he was one of the people they interviewed and they decided not to because this was years ago, way before probably 10, 15 years before this ever happened. But because he was known as being slow. And if you're on a race team and you have an engine go bad, you got to have everything done to make it race. You know, this happened in qualifying and you need to be able to race tomorrow. Sure.
You
You'll be at the back
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be at the back of the grid, but at least you'll be on the track. And they didn't have the confidence that they could trust in him. So I wish I knew that prior too. Yeah. But so anyway, so now,
in court.
So basically, so he's in Nevada. He's in Pahrump, Nevada, not far from Spring Mountain. Okay. And he used to be in San Dimas. And I guess the place that he bought, or the place that he was at, got bought out. The industrial complex got bought out. So he had to leave. And then he was like, okay, well, I'll go to Pahrump, Nevada, because the track is near there. I have friends. Now I'm dealing with another county, state, their laws and everything.
That sucks when the person you're having these issues with is now 5 hours away.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, my God.
I can't just hop in the car and just run over there and say, hey, what's going on?
Man, Scott, your story gets better and better, man. You know what though? I'm happy that you are the way you are, that you're the upbeat type of person you are, because so many people would I'm sure you're pissed off, but like,
of course,
just their anger would just be spewing, you know, and for you to still be able to talk about it with us and joke around, like, we appreciate that. But like, I know how much self-control that takes, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, props to you for even dealing with this situation.
I appreciate that.
So now where are we in terms of the legal process?
So because he's in Pahrump, it's county of Nye, and they require, so what I want to do is place a lien on the property, because, you know, what he did was got a house that has a 3,600 square foot workshop in the back. So he can live and work on the same property, which is nice. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because I'm not a contractor, I can't just lien property. So you have to give a 15-day notice of intent to lien. So I went ahead and did that, sent that. It came and went. And in my research, I then found out he's actually not the property owner. The property owner is his cousin.
Oh my God. So
he knows what he's doing.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I think he didn't have the money to buy it on his own is what it was. And his cousin, I ended up talking to his cousin and recording conversation. I let them know I'm recording conversation. Both Nevada and California are 2-person consent states. So I got this consent and recorded our conversation. And turns out he bought the property because he was looking for some income property. He knew Glenn's situation, that he had to move his business. He wanted to go to Pahrump. This worked out win-win. He now has his income property. He helps out his cousin by getting him. So he had Glenn look for the property and find what suited his needs. So I included all the businesses as well as Glenn, his wife, who's the manager, office manager. And then also, unfortunately, because I really like the guy, the cousin, the business or the property is in a trust. So, so essentially a living trust. So, or family trust. So they're all named in this and in the intent to lien. So I kind of crossed the T's and dotted the I's. And the time went, and I gave them a little more time to see. But essentially now I'm at the point where this week I'm filing the lien on the property.
Yeah. I mean, what choices do you have?
Yeah.
No, so maybe we'll be visiting you in Nevada.
Apparently, I got places to say. No.
Wow, man. Yeah. I mean, I just hope it works out, and at the very least to some resolution. You know, that where you're made whole again. Yeah. But I mean, unfortunately, these horror stories are more common than people know. Yeah. And you know, just not everybody gets to talk about their experiences. You know, but and then hindsight is always 20/20, right? But for example, what would you say? What would you do differently if you're looking back now?
Yeah. So it's really hard because we were put in a situation where he told me that he could make it in time. He had the pedigree to do that. Yeah. So those red flags weren't there. He had used other people that are other people that I knew had used his services with success.
Yeah.
So, because I would say, you know, when you're seeking out somebody, because maybe you're new to an area and you're looking for, or you're new to a brand and you're looking for a shop. And I feel like find people who've had experience with these people.
Yeah.
Because it's important. How did it go for them? Was it expedient? Were they more expensive? Were they cheaper? Did they use inferior parts? Did they let you buy the parts and provide it to them, or did they insist on using their parts? That kind of thing. And there may be reasons for or against both of those things. It's not saying it's going to exclude somebody if someone says, "Oh, I won't put in your parts," you know?
Yeah.
Some people think, "Oh, well, they want to make the money." Sometimes it's no, because I want to make sure that the right part numbers are used, the right parts are bought, everything is fits, and if it doesn't work out right, I don't want to give it back to you, disassemble things, give it back to you so you can send it back to the manufacturer to get the new part back, and just too many middlemen.
Yeah.
You know, there's valid reasons why they might do that. But I think the clear thing is establishing your goals, talking to the people, and try to talk to people who've used their services.
Yeah.
It's not always possible, but
Right.
Yeah.
The way I judge, right? Obviously, I want to talk to the person who's actually going to be touching my car.
100%.
My metric is that if I don't want to be friend with this person, I would probably not have them touch my car.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of times mechanics, like we were talking earlier, they've been there. They were the car guy. That's why they got into it.
Yeah.
And then they've kind of become salty. They've been doing it 30 years and they don't really care anymore. And they're
Why
just
would they
turning
be
the wrenches.
Why would they be salty? That I hear that all the time. Shouldn't you be
Yeah.
even better? Like,
Well, you also as a mechanic or shop owner, like some customers are difficult, and you're going to encounter people that are just not happy with anything, even when it goes right. And so, I mean, after years and years, and that can get tiring, just no one's ever happy. And, the higher you go in what a car costs, you're dealing with more, pickier owners and whatnot. So that can be a turnoff to, if you've done something for 20, 30 years, you're like, then it just becomes any other engine he's just another Porsche guy and it's easy to kind of fall into that.
got it.
Yeah.
And you can say that about any profession.
100%.
You got burned out.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So if I see a guy who is slow and like a little bit off, a little uninterested, I will probably not.
I think that's a good red flag.
Yeah.
They might have the knowledge, but the passion isn't there to give you exactly that in depth. They're just turning wrenches and
Yeah. I've also heard from somebody that mechanics are a little off and a little bit, awkward.
You gotta be a little weird too.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know how true that is. But
I think there's some truth to that, and I'll give an example because one, I have several friends that are mechanics, and I love them to death, and they're great people. And I'm very blue collar myself. I always joke around that I'm the poorest Porsche owner who has actually a nice car. This was a big deal for me, and this is part of what makes it hurt so much is because this was a big spend. This was going into savings. This was going into spending inheritance money and stuff and not a big inheritance. Let me tell you that, but this was like a big thing for me. This was like kind of, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't so much of a part of my life. Yeah. But, mechanics, a lot of them get into it because they're doing it and they don't have the outside world. They're not your customer service people. You have other people that deal with the people. They just want to turn wrenches because that's what they know. That's what they love. They don't either they're awkward socially or their bullshit meter tolerance level is really, really low and they don't want to deal with people because they're, the engine bullshit that gives it to them, this strip nut or something like that, they can deal with that. Yeah. But, there's not variables of trying to figure out someone's personality and hold their hand and fuck that. I just want to turn the wrenches and do what I'm good at.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that's kind of how I am. And I got into engineering because I'd rather deal with the machine than with people.
You understand them better.
Because the machine's not going to yell back at me, and it is what it is, and I can't blame it. It's not going to give me attitude, but so I understand like where mechanics come from, and I myself have done a lot of my own work, but And some people might hear your story and say, well, that's why you learn to do everything yourself. But there's some things you can't do. Like you need a machine shop, or you're not going to have that in your garage. So at some point you're going to need the services of some of these individuals. So that's why it's like, man, what do I look for? And it's tough because I was talking to Jimmy the other day, and one of the things that I said, look for customers and get their experiences before you go to a shop and see, how it went for them, timetables and costs and all those things. But then it's tough because someone like yourself, you feel like you did that homework and yet it can still happen. And so at the end of the day, it's still a reality of what can happen. It's just, to try our best to avoid it. I would say, like you said, reach out to customers, because sometimes the website looks nice or the Instagram looks nice, but talk to people that have actually been there. What was their experience and whatnot? And then go to the shop, talk to the owner, take a look around. What is he working on? Are they busy? Which is a good thing. Right. Or is like no one there. Oh, I'll take you right now, and they give you all these promises of, I'll do that in a week, so this is always things to look for.
No, you're right. And it's kind of funny. Like one of the ongoing kind of jokes in the automotive world is if their website is too good, maybe they're spending too much time on the website and not enough on the cars.
You want the guy that has a website that looks like it was made by Windows 95.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
GeoCity.
That guy's busy working on stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
His social media is live journal. Friendster.
And also the other thing I like to bring up is that every time when let's say someone recommends a shop, right? It's always like, oh, I heard from a friend. It's a friend's recommendation.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I would go back to that friend and be like, wait a minute, I just gave them a call. This guy was not friendly at all. Yeah. Right. And then the friend would be like, oh, no, I just heard that they were great. I haven't used them before. I'm like, so you recommended them to me? Yeah. So just because a friend was talking about it, you have to be very specific. Have you actually used them before?
Right.
And then sometimes when I refer shops to a friend, I would say, they do great work, but just so you know, the owner is a little awkward.
Yeah.
The owner is a little rude. I always like to add that. Some owners, they actually go on track days. They're driving enthusiasts. So they know that these cars are babies versus owners who just do like a freeway pull, not to name any names, but there's a lot of people who tune their G80 M3 to like freaking 700 horsepower and they do like a 150 on the freeway. That's the mechanic that you're dealing with. So you know that when you go to them, you're doing like the replace and repair type of stuff. I'm never going there for like performance alignment or anything. They don't know anything about that.
Right.
Yeah. And you also have to be careful because now with social media, like there's a lot of, oh, my friend has this shop or my friend has that shop, and no one's really a customer. And you might see somebody like, oh, this guy's at the track or this guy has a nice car and he's promoting this business, but he's not even a customer of that business. He might just be promoting it, or maybe they give him some freebies or do a little here and there for him. And so they'll promote it, but that doesn't mean that, that's a trustworthy shop. So it can be difficult to navigate those waters.
Absolutely. And let me kind of interject also, gauge what they're doing, because maybe your friend used them. They just had an exhaust put on. That's pretty straightforward, even on a complex exhaust, and, putting on exhaust is a lot different than building an engine or building a transmission or going through your coilovers and uprights and all the different suspension pieces. Yeah. So know that person is really good at doing those things that you need to have done, because there's nothing wrong with having several shops in your Rolodex. And, I go to this shop for my air-cooled car, I go to this shop for my water-cooled car, or I go to this shop for suspension work because that's their specialty, When I had my car corner balanced, I didn't use my normal shop. I went to a specialty shop for that because this was something that is really imperative that I got the best of for my needs.
Absolutely. I'm not a fan of like one-stop shops. Like I want the one guy that just does this and he does it well. And like you said, I'd rather have 4 or 5 shops where each one has their specialty, and I'll go to each one of those guys, And like one problem in the LS world with LS engines is they're so easy to work on that everyone thinks they're a mechanic. But now when you get into actual troubleshooting issues, or if something does have to be engineered and figured out, now that's like outside of their realm,
right?
So like like you said, what does this shop do? Are they just kind of maintenance guys? Are they this or that? And yeah, don't be afraid to have multiple shops. Even if one promises, yo, I can do that too. Go to the guy that's all he does. He's just alignments. He's just corner balance. You know, this guy is just engines, and that'll save you headaches.
Yeah. Right. And I think with our normal daily cars, we get into that kind of rut where one-stop shop is fine. You take it to the dealer, or you have an indie that you really trust, and that's fine. But when you're talking about cars that are specialized cars, enthusiast cars, where they're all modified, or even not modified, but enthusiast cars, it's really important that you're using the specialty in that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gathering from my experience, right? This might be controversial, but I mean, it's Jimmy.
Controversial? Never.
Like, what do you expect? All of the good shop owners that I actually work with, they have a commonality. You ready for this? They're all skinny Asian guys below 6 foot, wearing shorts and fun socks. I mean, that's the profile of a good shop owner who's really knowledgeable.
I think you say with frosted tips too.
Oh, I swear I'm not talking about myself.
That's too funny.
That sounds familiar. So you only like shop owners that look like you, Jimmy.
Oh,
what the heck?
Soft spoken. I'm not soft spoken. I'm very strong spoken. But it's okay.
You break a lot of molds.
So, I always say to people, I'm going to say this once again: don't trust anybody who wear black denim. Okay,
Ooh.
because
wait, what do you wear?
This is navy.
Oh, okay.
Because bad people wear black denim, good guys wear khakis. Remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to have some black jeans. I'm glad I don't wear them anymore.
I
didn't know that, but okay, thanks, Jimmy.
Maybe I'm a little Jekyll and Hyde because I have black jeans that I kind of wear at night, like if I'm going to an event. But I do have khakis too, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I'm such.
You can have balance.
Totally. I'm such a casual guy. Like I'm a t-shirt and shorts dude.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're dealing with somebody's property and something that, you know, whether it's something expensive or not, it costs that person money and time, whether it's their daily, I mean, they use it for work, or whether it's their fun car, whatever it may be, people have to make sacrifices for those things. And so I think if you're in the industry in the automotive industry, working on people's cars, you should treat them with respect. And on top of that, you should have some pride in your own work, as a mechanic.
That's where I feel like some things are missing, because I take pride in my work, and I'm not perfect,
right?
You know, but when I mess up, I try to make it better than, you know, and the pride there.
Yeah.
Well, now here's what I don't understand. A lot of these mechanics, they cannot afford the cars that they're working on. So shouldn't they be so happy? It's like, even though I can't afford a Porsche GT3 RS, yet I'm here working on it. I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. No, they treat your car like a piece of trash.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
And I almost feel like that's kind of what happened to you, because you're a young guy in a very nice car, and he might not know exactly what they cost. He might even thought it cost more, you know? Yeah. It's a beautiful color, kind of salty that here's this young, rich kid, he thinks, you know, and
not just rich, but good looking. Go on.
Yeah.
That was the next thing. That was the most important part. But, you know, so, and so he's like already kind of a little bit of jealous, a little bit of, you know, disappointed in where he's gone with his life. He hasn't maybe reached that, you know, like you said, he's working on cars that maybe he himself can't afford. Yeah. And they're human beings. I mean, everyone has their bad days as well. But this kind of sounds like this guy's every day is a bad day.
Yeah, I would have been like, man, a purple and BMW, this guy's worse than Porsche guys.
Fuck that guy.
And he wants to stand over my shoulder?
Oh my God. So, Nate, wouldn't you say that the way that a man treats their car or other people's cars mirrors how they treat their girlfriends?
Ooh.
If a guy is really rough with your car, he probably beats his girlfriend.
Yeah,
I swear to you.
I'm laughing because I was going to say he probably drinks Monsters and hit his girlfriend. and I have a Monster here in front of me. I swear I don't hit my wife, guys. You know, I think in any line of work, if you're someone that hates what you do, unfortunately, a lot of people probably do take that home. You know, just like they're just frustrated or not happy where they are. I got a lot of mechanic friends too, and I know how stressful the work can be. I know how stressful it is to be a shop owner, to deal with different builds and customers and all that. You would hope that people care a little bit more about others, but that seems to be less and less the case nowadays. Yeah.
People in general are angry nowadays.
Yeah.
That's everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Service especially. Sometimes I do fantasize just a little bit, like how relaxing would it be if I just own a Route 4 and just go to any shop and be like, I need an oil change. Nothing
just
else.
go anywhere and
Such a breeze.
Jiffy Lube is cool, right? It's whatever. Just put some new oil in it and change the.
If you
change
mess
the
up a Route
filter.
4, I don't know what.
The water pump's like $50, stuff like that. Yeah.
I know. That's one thing that sucks about being in the Porsche world. The Porsche tax is very real.
Yeah.
It is very real.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, I'm sponsored and I get deals and it's still expensive. You know, the parts, I mean, it's hilarious for what I paid for pistons, for a set of 6 pistons. A lot of times people get, LS, you get modified pistons for 8 of them for cheaper and for cheaper retail than I pay with my sponsor deal because I'm sponsored by Carrillo Rods.
And what sucks is it's not that they're worth that much, because in material machining, it's the same as a set of rods for another car.
Yeah.
But it's that they can charge that for it.
Absolutely.
And like if you want the best, now you have no other options.
Yeah.
And
sometimes also tooling and stuff comes into that, research and development, because if you are selling a part, the actual physical cost of the part is exactly the same. Let's just say your car versus my car.
Yeah.
The pistons probably manufacture exact same, material, labor, whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to take into consideration, they might sell 10,000 of the pistons for me. They might sell 40,000 of yours.
Yeah.
You can break it down and get,
Yeah, for sure.
But that being said, like I said, the Porsche tax is real.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
Wow, so we've been here for a while.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of, red flags and green flags that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Scott, again, I am so sorry this happened.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been hard. It's been really a lesson in futility and patience, and hopefully things will work out correctly in the end. But this past week, last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, because people ask me, don't you miss being in the canyons? Don't you want to be in a car? And it's like, yes. Our mutual friend, Steve Wynn, very nice guy. I don't know if you know him, but really good dude. And he has 2 Porsches. He has a 991.2 GTS, but he also has a 996 Carrera 2 that he actually let me borrow because I was the drive master. I put together the route and then led the routes for Drive Toward a Cure, which is a charity for Parkinson's people with Parkinson's. So it's to help their families, to help them research. But so we did this benefit. It was a full weekend long, and it included a Saturday drive and a Sunday drive. And a benefit concert that the Greek Theater actually donated the theater.
Oh, wow.
And all the proceeds of that night to this charity, which is, so it's
cool,
Drive
man.
Toward a Cure. And he let me use his car for that. Wow. And so because people literally come from all over the country for this event, you have people driving roads that they're unfamiliar with. Yeah. They're in rental cars. Some are in rental cars, but basically we had a Lamborghini Revuelto on there. We had some other high-end cars, McLarens and stuff, but high performance cars, but they don't know the roads. So I wanted to kind of keep it spirited, but really mellow.
Yeah.
By our standards. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But so anyways, but afterwards, me and one of the guys, he's actually a manager over at Forge Line Wheels. He rode with me because he came in from Atlanta, and he's like, I don't want to just drive my rental Kia. Can I ride with you? I was like, yeah. So afterwards, once the whole event was done, we're still in Malibu. I said, hey, you want to go do some canyons? So then I finally got to go drive the way, some of my favorite roads again, and the way that I drive,
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Just don't cross the mustard.
No,
my goodness.
absolutely.
That's another episode.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's funny because on our podcast, when we end it, and that's one of the things that we always say every single time at the end of the episode is, don't cross the double yellows.
Yeah, drive in an approved manner.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm sure that Scott, by sharing your experience, you want to warn our listeners of what kind of shops to go to, what kind of shops not to go to.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff to be learned here. And our intention is not to bash anybody, but just to share our experience so that our audience don't have to go through the same things that we went through.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter what kind of car you're driving. I mean, it could be, one man's trash heap is another man's dream car,
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of our show, is there anything else that anybody wants to add?
No, just thank you for sharing your story with us. Unfortunately, it's part of what can happen, when you're dealing with cars. And so hopefully people can learn a little bit from it, just kind of to be more careful and just to be aware that is the possibility, of stuff that can go wrong. But again, what I would take from it is stuff happens, but when you can still smile like you and talk about it, and it's nice to have friends in the car community and that let us borrow their cars or go along for a ride and stuff like that. So it also highlights at the end of the day that, we're like a brotherhood, a community of car people that, we all look out for each other.
Yeah.
So, that's what I took from it, and I hope our listeners do too. So again, just thanks for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. And I agree on all of that. We go up to Newcomb's Ranch, we go up to Old Place, we go up to other places, and we see cars that maybe that's not our cup of tea, but we can appreciate it. I'm not into lowriders, but man, when I see them, I just look at them in awe because I know how much love and experience and went into those things.
Right. It's really a form of art. Driving, loving cars. But speaking of art, I know that Scott's girlfriend Kelsey is a great artist. Why don't you tell us more about her?
Okay, so my girlfriend Kelsey Wales, she is an automotive artist, and she does mostly Porsches, not only Porsches. She actually did an amazing painting, watercolor. She usually works in acrylic or oils, but she did a really cool watercolor painting of a Z32 300ZX, which was really cool. She recently did a 1959 Ferrari Testarossa TR59.
Nice.
She did that. It was really cool. So she's not only Porsche, but she's actually a Porsche girl. And this is kind of how we met. It's kind of funny. We met in a parking lot because she brought her friend to go meet a tow truck because the friend's car blew their engine. And she saw these Porsches coming into the parking lot because we just finished a Malibu drive. So she came and saw all the Porsches. Like I said, her dad owns a Porsche repair shop. So she grew up, her first car was a 944. She still owns it. She got it for her 16th birthday. And, it's got like 340,000 miles on it or something. And, her dad rebuilt the engine and replaced the engine. And, it's pretty cool. She keeps it up there, but because we just don't have parking to keep it down here and just don't want to put it on the street. But she's an amazing artist, and I'm really proud of her. She actually was a horseback riding instructor at Will Rogers, which burned down during the Palisades fires. And when that happened, we kind of looked at it as the universe telling her, okay, it's time for you to go ahead and focus on your professional art career. And she's been doing some pretty amazing things. Please, listeners, give her a follow. Go look at her Instagram. It's KELCI Wales, WAILES_art. Nice. And she does great work. She's really passionate, and she has a lot of fun pieces. There's a lot of artists out there that are extremely talented, so you need to kind of separate yourself somehow. And Not all of her parts are like, or pieces are like this, but she's introduces a lot of whimsy and fun into her art pieces. Like one of them she did was a donut, the GT2 RS doing a donut on top of a donut that looked like, you know, the Homer Simpson's donut.
Nice, yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, it's fun, and she got really good reception like that with that one. So she's doing a new series called A Baker's Dozen. So she's doing a different donut and car every month of this year. At the end of the year, she'll have
That's
the 12 and then the original one, which makes a Baker's Dozen.
Nice.
Yeah, so she'll do like a calendar. But so anyways, so follow her either TikTok or her Instagram. But yeah, so
shout out
that.
to Kelsey.
Yeah,
right.
totally.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Kelsey's amazing.
Yeah, and please, followers, our listeners, follow me as well as Rennstreet Podcast. Michael, who you're already familiar with, is my co-host. We hope you enjoy our show as well.
Yes, please go listen to Rennstreet Podcast. They have amazing conversation there. And Scott, I'm a huge fan of your show as well. So I've been listening.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Again, it's truly an honor to have you here and, listening to your story. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure that our listeners learned a lot from our conversation.
I wish we had a happier topic to talk about, but it was great having you here. Hopefully next time we have you here will be with some good news or at least a new car or something. But thanks again for being with us. Thanks for everyone to listening to us. And as always, we're always happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for listening to the Rice and Beans podcast. As always, this is Nate the Beans.
And this is Jimmy the Rice.
And take care, guys. And we look forward to the next one.
Drive safe.